So what's going on, Trucketeers? The Truck Guy here. Wanted to get back to you with another video. And today we're finally doing it. We're doing the Olfa at the request of a lot of the subscribers of this channel and a lot of the viewers. Olfa is very popular. I myself haven't dabbled in them too much, so it's kind of new to me. I mean, we've got the Milwaukees, the DeWalts, the Stanleys. We've even gotten into the Gerbers, the Fiskars. Really kind of cutting edge with the utility knives, but we haven't dived into the Olfa. We're going to do that today. So we've got the MXP-Xl. It was just recommended to me. Model number 1135530. So that doesn't exactly roll off the tongue, but this, MXP-Xl auto lock. It's 18 millimeters, 3/4 inch. Contractor tough. So we're doing it up. We're doing it right. So this looks like a pretty cool snap-off knife. So Olfa is big on the snap-offs. Some are auto lock. Some kind of have a mechanism to, tighten or loosen the blade so you can move it up or back. But Olfa's, they've got the X design, whatever the heck that means. If you know, comment down below. And they say 25% sharper black blade, heavy-duty aluminum body, anti-slip grip. So enough is enough. Let's go ahead and check out the Olfa and see what we think. So we'll go ahead and get it out of the packaging. Set the packaging aside. So Olfa did make it easy on us to get it out of the packaging. So unlike some of the knives that we review, they actually made it easy on us, and they didn't demonstrate why we need utility knives in the first place. If you need a utility knife to open a utility knife, that presents some questions for sure. So right out of the gates, it does feel good in the hand, and it feels a lot lighter than I thought. So I think that aluminum body is definitely giving us really that feather weight. So pretty cool, because I thought it was going to be really heavy, which intrigued me, but it's actually pretty light. And that no-slip grip, so kind of the rubberized grip that is kind of in the X design. So clearly that's where the X design comes from. Check it out. But that gives you some nice grip because you've got your two fingers up top, and you've also got, your palm and kind of your ring finger, pinky finger area that is hit by that grip. So I definitely like that. And a big lanyard loop. That might be the biggest lanyard loop we've ever seen on the Truck Guy channel. So pretty crazy there. And that's kind of it in terms of features. So, outside of that, we dive right into the blade. So the slider on this blade is really nice. It really kind of rockets up to that full extension, and the same to get that down. It's really quick and feels smooth. It feels, very durable. It is plastic, so I don't know if it'll hold up forever, but, certainly that seems like a good slider that I definitely like the feel of. So in terms of actually changing this blade, I was a little confused out of the gates in terms of actually how you change these blades, because I was rolling it back and hitting, what you can see is a little button on the back that kind of holds the slider in place, but you've just got to apply some downward pressure to push it back, and then you can slide your blade right out of the back of the knife, and you can go ahead and change this blade that way. So it's got 8 segments, so I'll try to get you guys a view of this. So there's perforations where you can actually snap off this blade so you can get a fresh blade, at least a fresh point every time out. I'll mention one thing that's kind of a detractor to this type of knife in a little bit. But you've got 8 segments, so once you get down to that, you just slide it out the back and you can pop in a new blade. All you do is line up your new blade on your slider, put it back in going forwards, get over that little button at the back, and then you're locked in and ready with your new blade. So pretty easy to change blades on the Olfa, but you know, if it's your first one, you might get a little thrown off by that mechanism just because it's a little tight out of the box. So Olfa, interestingly, is made in Japan. So it's a Japanese company. They've got all sorts of snap-off knives. That's kind of their thing. And it's kind of the utility knives of Japan. So I think it's, you know, what we think of as Stanley or Milwaukee. Olfa is kind of the Japanese version, but obviously, you know, they're huge in the utility knife industry, and they've got a really loyal group of customers that supports them. So I definitely like it. I think it's one of the better snap-offs that I've seen. So just overall, really impressed. And let me get to a few of kind of the downsides of this type of knife. One downside is it does fly open and close pretty easily. So when you've got a full blade in there, you can see you're only, you know, a 1/4 inch from having that blade extended. So if you're one position up on this, this is all of a sudden going to be flying out in your pocket. It doesn't stay down quite as good as I would have hoped. And the other thing is, it is on the lighter side. So even though that's good for some applications, sometimes you want a bit of a heavier knife to kind of, you know, do some damage and really just kind of provide some weight to whatever job you're working on. And the other kind of downfall I would say about these types of knives is I have a tendency to slide out a little farther than probably the average Joe. And so I'll probably be dulling, you know, 2 or 3 of these blades at a time, and there's only 8 perforations on here and 8 kind of mini blades. So if you're judicious and you're only popping out one at a time, you're good to go. If you're like myself, I get a little carried away. I'm going to be changing these blades a lot, so that's sometimes where I may defer to kind of a regular utility knife and just kind of a regular utility knife blade. But there are the snap-off enthusiasts out there, and if you are one, comment down below. Let me know your thoughts on the Olfa. I really want to hear it. So in terms of actually changing the blade on the Olfa, we already talked about the traditional application to change the entire blade. But if you just want a fresh point on there, like we said, there's 8 perforations in there. One of the craziest things happened to me. I just tried to get a new point on this Olfa, and it just kind of shattered on me a bit. And then I was able to get it when using a pliers. So I guess there's a very specific way you have to do the blade change for the Olfa. Otherwise, these blades can just literally fly all over the place. So what you want to do is grab a pliers and get right on that perforation. So you're about 1 millimeter off of it, and then just clip away, and you're good to go. And what you want to do with these at the end, you know, you can use just some painter's tape, like so, to collect them and then dispose of them. But I had actually enlisted the DeWalt because, you know, you guys probably haven't seen this DeWalt snap-off in a while. But the cool thing about DeWalt is it actually comes with the integrated blade snapper tool on the back, if we can get it out. And it's kind of cool because you can get on that perforation and then slide your DeWalt knife in, clip, and you're good to go. So, funny enough, I tried to use that on the Olfa, and this thing just started to shatter all over the place. So, not exactly what you want to see from your utility knives. So, definitely use a pliers if you're all about the Olfa and you don't want this thing breaking up on you. I think that's kind of the preferred method, but, you know, we improvise a little bit on this channel, so I wanted to see kind of how easy it was. You know, really, if you're trying to break these things off in a different way, you might run into some issues and you might get some less than ideal ends to your blades, and you don't want to waste these just because it's nice to get a clean cut and then keep going. So So that's it for the Olfa. I think there's some good and bad with this. This is kind of really, I would say, their highest end knife. There's a couple other good ones that I want to try. But if you're into snap-offs, I think this is definitely one that you can consider. I definitely would also check out the DeWalt knives. I mean, they're just a little bit heavier duty than the Olfa. This is just a little bit lighter, a little bit more of a precision knife. Whereas DeWalt's going to hit you with some really hardcore, you know, intense snap-offs that may hold up a little bit more. DeWalt, as much as I don't like them for some of their regular utility knives, their snap-offs are pretty incredible. So definitely check out the Olfa, you know, and I have to say it was $17.99 on Amazon, which does really run up there. And then on top of that, I had to pay $3.25 in shipping, so it ended up being $22.81. So definitely one of the more expensive utility knives I've reviewed. So a lot to like about the Olfa, but is it going to compete with some of the high-end Milwaukees, you know, some of the higher-end Stanleys that we've seen on this channel? I think that remains to be seen. I would put it a little bit below that. But if you're an Olfa enthusiast, definitely comment down below and let me know if I'm wrong, if I'm missing something. But I like the knife. It just wouldn't be in my upper echelon as of right now. But that's it, guys. Please like, please subscribe. And as always, we'll talk to you on the next video.